Patrick and I are hiking Mt Cabot today.
Look at this great cat.
And there's an enormous pile of fish over here. Yeah. There's a hatchery down here and you can sorta, kinda.
What kind are they?
They are brook trout. They're all just swimming around in here and there's so many over here that you can't even see through the water. Like if I were to take a net and just dip it in there, I'd come out with like 600 brook trout. So anyway, that's fun. Now let's go hiking. So yeah, that's the trail. Benel Notch. And we're kind of working with a tight weather window. They are forecasting for tropical rains to come in later today. And it's gonna just kind of be how it goes when you drive 5 hours to go hike and can't cancel your hotel accommodations. You may as well just roll with it. Should still be fun, as long as we're on the way out by the time it starts to open up. Alright, first little stream crossing. Alright, first little stream crossing. Let's figure this guy out. There's not a lot of really phenomenal rocks.
Guess we can just go there.
Yeah. Let's try this. Let's try this. Yep. There we go. Smooth. Maybe. Yeah. It'd be rather alarming if we get a downpour and that really swells later on in the day, but we'll see. Should be okay. Oh. Yeah, Patrick and I have gone about 1.5 miles. Starting to slowly ascend. We did that first 1.5 miles in just about a half hour, so we're moving pretty good. Again, we're kind of trying to make sure that we're on our way out when the rain gets here, so not really trying to waste a whole bunch of time today. But still want to summit a mountain, so supposedly there's a cabin up top if we were to get caught in some bad weather. I guess we could hang out there, but I didn't do a whole lot of research on it. I just saw it on the map, so like I said, not trying to waste too much time. We just took our first little breather here. I did my patented cold mountain stream hat dunk, and that feels glorious on a humid day. Ooh, bug flew in my mouth. That is gross. But we're gonna try to keep going. There's a little spot of the trail where it sort of plateaus and dips. I think right there we're gonna take a little break again, get a little bite to eat before we kind of do that last ascent, which is about 1.5 miles to the summit. But this has been no big deal at all. Very mild to moderate incline, and we've been doing it pretty consistently now for a while, so we're just gonna keep it up. Kind of got our legs under us finally and see how it goes. Look at that. Just got the falls little kind of cascading down the mountain. And this hasn't really been too big of a deal so far. and we're still going at a pretty good clip. So onward to that little plateau. Okay, so we've kind of reached this little plateau, I think, and it should continue kind of flat for about 4/10 of a mile, and then you get your really mile and very small change of steep ascent up to the summit, and that should be it. But we're making really good time. We've absolutely flown through this first part. Again, trying to beat the weather. It's gonna be rolling in around noon, so it's not quite 9:30 yet, and we've gone about 2.8 miles in about an hour and 20 minutes. So hiking at a real good clip, and hoping we can keep this up. So we just kind of passed a trail junction sign saying about 1.8 to Cabot from here. I got about 1/4 of a mile to 3/10 of a mile of this flat stuff, and then we are going to hit the wall of earth that we hit on pretty much every hike, and we're going to do that for about 1.25 miles. So we're gonna just keep on going until we need a little break, which hopefully we can get pretty close to the summit by 10:30. That would be fantastic to be on the way out of here when that rain hits around, noon. So, but so far, pretty easy hike. Nothing challenging, really no scrambles. The whole trail's been more or less like this. A few muddy spots, but I mean, I've seen worse. Hey, look! 1.7. Well, that's 0.1 from the last sign. If you were unable to follow this remarkably well-established trail. Well, we're ascending pretty good here, but there's supposed to be a nice rock outcropping somewhere called Bunnell Rock, and supposedly going to give us a little bit of a lookout. So I think we're getting pretty close. It's just kind of clearing out up here a little bit anyway. Whew. Man. Yeah, I'm out of breath. It's a hike. Deal with it. Ooh. Look at that. Very nice. Wow. So this is Bunnell Rock. Probably better than what the summit's gonna look like. There's the weather system that's coming in. Looks like it's actually raining right over there. But it's pretty nice. Yeah, so we'll enjoy this for a minute. Get going up to the top.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, just about a half mile till we're at the summit. Yeah, this whole thing hasn't been too bad. Nothing crazy steep at any portion. Got the one nice little lookout on that rock, and there's supposedly a cabin that's going to be coming up fairly shortly here, so we'll check that out. And had we been caught in some pretty terrible weather up here, it'd be a nice spot to hide out for a little bit. But either way, we'll be up there pretty soon. Well, cabin's right up here. some other people here, but the summit is that way, and the toilet's over there. That's fun. Well, should be getting pretty close. Just past the cabin. And we're just ascending this last little bit here. I believe there's a big cairn at the top, but who knows? I'm not too certain that we're going to be able to see much anything. And here it is, I guess. No, water that way. Summit this way. I don't know. That was bizarre. This is very clearly taller than that, so that can't be the summit. Maybe I was just marking a water source. Leaving a forest protection area. All right. Fair enough. Waiting to find it. Don't know where it is. Up here somewhere. Yeah. This has not been too difficult. I've said that a bunch today, but pretty good for a day that you try to beat the weather. All right. Got to be here somewhere. Any second now. Any second now. I've leveled off. A little bit of a clearing over here. And yeah. Here it is. We made it. Well, I presume that this is it, but I'm going to look around a little bit just because this looks like it's a little higher than that. Maybe. Yep, this is it. Here we go. Welcome to the heavily wooded summit of Mt Cabot. Hi, we made it. That's it, right there.
That's not overwhelming.
Nope. Really badly underwhelmed, yeah. All right. it's pretty easy. Yeah, we pretty much just, I mean, we only stopped to rest a couple times. It's a very easy, steady ascent all the way to the top. There's one lookout point on that Bunnell Rock, I think it was called, and you have the little cabin up top. So I mean, as far as difficulty goes, it's like a 2 or a 3, not hard, just under 9 miles round trip, and there's no view whatsoever at the top. So from the summit, we're gonna give that a solid 1.
I think the rock was okay.
The rock was nice, so maybe that bumps it up to a 2, but it's not really on the summit. It's like halfway up there. So
it's also the northernmost mountain.
yeah,
So.
I think it's the northernmost one in New Hampshire. So anyway, hopefully we get to hike tomorrow, and we beat the rain, so that was the other added bonus. It was something I was worried about, and we didn't have to deal with it for the most part. So okay, hopefully we get to go tomorrow.